All right, apologies for potential sound quality issues. We're traveling and don't have my normal setup. So, power rankings for April 2023. Also, sorry this is going up late, but we got there eventually. Yeah. So, what's happening? We have SE Zidane, which has been cursed with something known as cookie disease. Doctors are working on a solution. We'll see if we get there. We have one weekly open partway through. I'm going to include it next month. Same for the Fun Chaos tournament, and same for tournaments that have just begun. Two GBs have finished, and two TTN GBs finished, both TTM and TT style. Sorry if you can hear my stomach rumbling there. We're having a time. So that's six total tournaments, two GBs and four TTN GBs. The semi open began, that'll happen next month. And I also wanted to credit a few players for Survivor. I didn't put a ton of credit there, but a few players will get some credit here, moving them up a few slots. And mostly I'm giving credit to the people who haven't lost yet, because the goal of that is to avoid three losses. And I thought it would be good to give some credit now and then some credit when the tournament completes to the top finishers. So, our top 10, we have DJ, who came second in. I decided to list the TTN GBs as TTN and TTM. So, TTN is the GBs on a triple triad board, and TTM is the GBs on the TTM board, whatever it's called. So, DJ came second in one of those and earns 10th place. Yevon got a third and a fourth, both interestingly in TTN, not TTM. Uh, Sometimes I notice patterns of players doing consistently better in one format or the other, which makes a lot of sense. And Yevon did better on the traditional triple triad boards. Chickeny is just doing great in this second Survivor. He won the first one. I wanted to give a shout out. He hasn't been playing anything else, but his record there is absurd, and he is clearly doing the best in that tournament. He gets eighth. In seventh, we have Dalamar, who grabbed fourth in a GB, but is also undefeated through six games in Survivor number two, playing really well in that format as well. In sixth place, we have Addy, who has a top four finish in both types of boards on TTN, uh, and a second place in one of those formats. In fifth place, we have Selder, who doesn't have quite as high a finish as Addy does, but has three top four finishes, including in both traditional GBs and in a non traditional GB. Now, our top four is quite a leap ahead of the crowd, and our top three is a pretty big leap ahead of fourth. But in fourth place, we have Delial, always placing high. 2 seconds, both GBs got second and got third on a TTN GB. And then in third place, we have Vid, our first player to actually win something, with a first and two thirds, won the M version of. I'm going to have to figure out a better way to say this. Won the M version of a GB, as well as two other thirds. And in second, we have a very strong showing from what I will continue pronouncing Reye, with a first in a tournament, a second and a third, also still undefeated in Survivor. Not a massively better resume than Vids, but clearly better. Also, a bunch of the tournaments I didn't include this month and are passing over to next month. He's in the finals, I think, of both the semi open and the current chat tournament weekly open. So he is likely to finish again very high next month, given that he has holdover tournaments that are going to be giving credit in the future. And in first, this was not close. He put up 116 in GB48 for, I think, the most dominant win, at least on a TTA format, and came fourth in GB49. But he also had a trifecta of TTN results with three first places and a second place. There were four competitions, and in those four, he won three of them and got second in the fourth. He's the only multiple winner, and he won four events. This is one of the most dominant months we've seen, and Turds is far and away first. But you ask, how does this affect the Player of the Year race, or at least my Player of the Year race? And Delhi had a lead of 12 over Akiyama, but Akiyama did not make this month's ranking, and so Delial extends his lead, even though Turds finished higher this month than Delial did, because Delial's closest competitor dropped off. Turds had been having a poor start to the year, but vaults himself into second, and Rayaminator with two really good months in a row, 2 seconds in a row. That's 24 points from just March and April. moves into third. Selder, very steadily finishing top five just about every month, is in fourth. Akiyama drops to fifth, and Addy, who has a comeback month after a drop off in March, is in sixth. And it's a very clear top six. There's some drop off. I think Kaus and Zoom come next, then Vid in ninth, and then I think I'm in 10th from coming second one month, which is to say the field's fairly far behind. Um, and your player of the year will likely, at least player of the year by my counting here, will likely come from one of these six. Delial is certainly the big favorite, but as I said, Reye is very likely to get a high finish next month, given some tournaments will finish that even if he loses his remaining games in, he will have made the finals and will be getting a lot of credit there. Turds looks like he's in just exceptional form and dominating everything. You know, so I think it's still up in the air. We're a third of the way through the up in the air. We're a third of the way through the year, and this is the current standings. And that's all I got for you. Sorry about technical stuff and being a bit late. Turns out travel makes it difficult to record.